Hello everyone and welcome back to the Sedona International Film Festival. I'm your host Carol Kahn. We are coming to you live from the Sedona Performing Arts Center and we're also on Facebook Live. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you filmmaker Myles with the film Poppies. Hello.
Hi.
And you're not a stranger to Sedona?
No, I was here last year and it's great to be back.
Awesome. And we were just joking before, he reminds me so much of David Levy.
Not bad.
It's almost a twin. I think it's a really good thing. Awesome. So it's so good to have you here.
Thank you, yeah.
And your film Poppies, tell us just a little bit about it. I know we have a trailer, but tell us a little bit about the film first.
It's a film I made a few years ago. It's a cross-cultural film about two strangers who meet on a plane. It's half Chinese, half English, so an American character and a Chinese character. And it's about the relationship they develop flying from Shanghai to New York.
Okay, and interesting conversations.
Yes.
All right, so we have a trailer, so let's take a look at that.
Sure.
Come and go. Sometimes gone for weeks at a time. The distance lit my soul aflame. Those were the warmest days. Through these stories, I've given you a part of my soul.
Wow, I love that line. I've given you a part of my soul because, you know, we all have stories and those are the things that last and memories. So how is that significant to you?
I agree with that sentiment, and that's where the inspiration for that part of the film came from. I think stories are an incredibly powerful way of sharing ideas and sharing our own experience in a way that other people interpret and make their own as well. And that's part of the film, is the storytelling and the interpretation of someone's story and how it can like transform and affect your own life in a way that the person who's telling you the story might not anticipate, right? They're telling their story for their own reasons, not necessarily for your reasons. Yeah.
And how did you come up with the film, you know, just the subject matter of that? How did that all come to be?
So this was actually my first film. Previously I worked in finance, I lived in Asia, so I was based primarily in Singapore. And it's kind of like a summary of that period of my life. I was there for almost 10 years. And it's like taking all the stories. I'd love it when my friends would tell me stories from their families and understanding like there's so much more. Singapore is a very modern, contemporary country that has just one or two generations back a totally different type of experience. And that's so interesting coming from North America, where I feel like we don't have the same type of cultural background per se. You know, it's very different. It's a very different experience. So I'd love hearing stories and then trying to imagine how they would feel, what they would look like. And this is kind of my homage to that time of my life.
Yeah. Interesting though, the conversations between the main character and the woman sitting there, it seems like, you know, with American conversation, it's all about, you know, who you are and what do you do and that kind of thing. But excuse me, immediately the conversation with the woman was about her life and her background and things that had depth to it. So was that kind of part of
and that's where I tie into, I think people tell stories also for personal reasons, and that's part of where we get to in like the kind of third act of the short, is getting to that reason for her and why she's sharing stories. And I think that's also something, you know, that's relevant in this case, why she goes so deep so fast. She's got a reason she wants to impart them with other people.
And also you used poppies, and the title of the film is Poppies. So how significant is that?
I was really looking, because I think cross-cultural like conflict and differences is an interesting topic for me, especially like I've lived in different places, and I was looking for a symbol that had different meanings associated with it. So that's how I landed on Poppies, and that's how they connect over a bouquet of flowers, as you saw in the trailer. And I think like around the world we care as people about the same things, like love, some type of work or creativity or generative activity and relationships, but it's the way we care about them that is kind of sometimes the source of conflict or misunderstanding. And I wanted, something that there was a resolution, and understanding the differences is part of just understanding, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So your background is in finance.
Yes.
And so now that was a past life.
Total past life. Yeah.
And you completely...
Distant memory.
But it's helping you in the industry to finance your films, right?
Yeah. I think having a business background has been very helpful. I've had to catch up in other areas, of course, and working with a team of experienced people is very important in helping with that. But I think having more of a business background has helped me think about my projects in a different way as well, and getting things done in a very timely manner is very important to me, because projects are just a reflection of that period of time, and the faster they get kind of wrapped up, the more I can keep growing by working on new things.
And how challenging your new role in filmmaking, how challenging has that been for you?
I was speaking on a panel earlier this week, and this was something I talked about. For a much less stable career route, it's much less stressful because I love it and it doesn't feel like work. And I think as long as I keep working on, it's much more of a roller coaster emotionally. Like the highs, I feel very great, and then when it's tougher, it's of course much tougher because there's no one pushing you other than yourself sometimes. But building a team, a support network, and I think always working on something is the most important part, of keeping that train going.
Right. But you have a great support network and and mentorship.
Yeah, that's been incredibly important. Jenny Lutugan, who was the executive producer of this film, I met her when I first moved to LA. She was a teacher at UCLA Extension, and I approached her about the script, and it resonated with her. She wanted to be supportive in making that and connecting. She connected me with Nicholas Pike, who is the composer, and he composed the film that I was here last year with Aaron, and I just wrapped a feature during COVID year. The COVID year that didn't happen, but last year, which he composed. So she definitely has connected me with a very supportive and encouraging creative team, which has
awesome.
Really nourished the projects.
So are you working on a project that will bring you back here next year, maybe?
So the feature, it's called Albatross. We shot it in October, finishing post-production now. It should be done next week. So hopefully we'll be back in February of next year with that film.
Yay.
Yeah.
It's so good to see you again.
It's great to see you again too. Yeah.
And is your film being shown again this week?
Yeah, so it's going to be on Friday morning at I think 10 o'clock in front of Eat Wheaties, which is a feature. It's very good, at the Enchantment Theater.
Awesome.
So check it out.
I heard the Enchantment's beautiful, by the way.
I haven't been yet, so I'm excited.
Everybody is raving.
Okay,
so I
great.
think you're going to enjoy that.
Great.
And your film, how can people find out about it?
So we've got a website, poppies-film.com. If you want to be in tune with the feature coming out, sign up for our mailing list and you'll get updates for that. And I think it's also still available on Amazon, which you can find it there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks so much, Carol. Thank you.
And we'll be back with more from the Sedona International Film Festival after this.